Hi guys, and welcome to Trucking Along with Kiersey. That's me, your positive voice in trucking, and this is Maureen, my positive trainee.
Hi, how are you doing?
Soon to not be my trainee anymore, but we're going to still co-drive together. So, are you excited?
I am. It's been, well, I first started in August, middle of August was my orientation. So it's been, a little over 5 months, or right at 5 months coming up. So it's been, yes, I'm excited.
But we got a few weeks off though.
Right, yeah, we had a few weeks off. I went home for 2 weeks.
Yeah, and then we went to Vegas. So,
and yeah, but that's when it all started, and we're going to go home next week.
She survived putting up with me on the truck.
And she survived putting up with me on the truck.
And we haven't clawed each other. I know you guys wanted a cat fight going, it didn't happen.
No, it's, it's an experience that you have to realize that it's not anything that you've ever experienced before. I think you and I were talking about the other day. One lady said you can do all the research, but actually living it is different, which is true. But I think you still need to do your research so you can have some type of expectations.
Right. That was Ms. Monique. She's a prime driver, starting trucking over 50, I think is her channel. We'll put that up there so you can go check her out. But something that she said and that you said,
okay,
is basically, this is not fun and games all the time.
No.
This is a job. And you've said repeatedly, you don't like people comparing this to RVing.
Right. When people compare it to RVing. Okay, RVing is a recreational vehicle, right? Yes. Let's say I'm driving down the same highway as this RV. My focus is different because my focus is safety, who's around me,
time constraints.
I'm thinking about my load,
your hours of service,
my fuel. Do I have to fuel? Do I have to take a 30-minute break? So all of that is going through my mind. Recreational vehicle, they're going to have different thoughts in their mind. Yeah, we're going to see the same things outside, the scenery, so to speak. But really, a lot of times the truck driver doesn't even concentrate on the scenery itself because they have all this other focus that they're thinking about. So, yeah, that's one of my pet peeves. I don't like for people to compare a trucking and the same as, let me just go be a trucker because I can do the RVing and get paid for it. That, to me, doesn't make sense at all because we have two different objectives, so to speak.
That's not to say that you can't take your home time out on the road.
True.
Because I've done that. And, we did that in Vegas. But that means you're sacrificing your home time at home with your family. So that's something you have to really be aware of. One of my friends was training somebody that basically didn't even tell his wife what over the road meant. So, and he went into training and then he left. So you have to understand, you have to communicate what training really is, what over-the-road lifestyle is to your family so they know what to expect. You can't just drop this bomb on them and say, all right, they're going to go with it.
Right, yeah, I agree with that. You still got kids in school, or somebody at home is depending on you and you're OTR. You have to definitely let them in on everything, what OTR really is, because it's a lifestyle change. When people come out here and they say, oh, I really didn't think this was going to happen. Oh, I read about this, but I really didn't think this was going to happen.
Which did just happen too, where somebody basically said, I didn't know a 70-hour work week meant that I was going to be working 70 hours.
Yeah, because, we have an 8-hour clock, we have the 11-hour clock, we have the 14-hour clock, and we have the 70-hour clock, and they're there for a reason.
The 70-hour clock is 8 days, not 7, and I think people get that one confused too. There are ways to burn up your clock and make your week shorter. That's something a lot of new people have to work on, trying to shorten their on-duty time during the week, because you just burn up your time and then you don't have time to drive and make that money later.
Right. Once I go solo, of course, that's going to be another learning experience for me because I'm going to manage my own clock. I have to manage everything on my own. I think I'm going to get different loads because I'm a solo driver versus a team driving load. When you're in a team, somebody always has time on their clock, basically. And, you know, I'm here with an experienced driver. Kiersey's been driving for over 5 years now. So she knows where all the truck stops are.
Woo-hoo.
I mean, she knows the exit numbers, you know.
Yeah, now you do too. Now she does too.
You know, and so she has, you know, given that experience for me. You know, I think that makes her a good trainer. She has a lot of experience to give to other people.
AKA, I screwed up a lot, and I tell you.
I think everybody makes mistakes. I mean, you know, we all make mistakes.
Yeah.
I don't think it's about not making mistakes. I think it's about being, you know, safe and on time and, you know.
It's learning from your mistakes and actually taking responsibility. Don't pass it off to somebody else. It makes you less credible with the company.
You know, I look forward to the end of my TNT. Then I also look forward to the solo part because then I'm going to learn in a different way. I'm going to learn from just being on the truck, just doing it, making my mistakes and saying, oh, well, I shouldn't have done it this way. But I do have to thank Kiersey for, you know, sticking with me for that long. I know it's hard because sometimes I know I lose patience. I have not seen her lose patience with me. But
really?
Yeah,
cool,
really.
Okay. It's not patience. It's just that I already screwed up so much there was nothing you could do wrong that was gonna how could I blame you for doing things I already did, right? It's just understanding. We've all been there.
I think it's a lot of understanding.
I think we've all been there.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing is if you go on a truck with somebody, number one is respect. I think you have to show each other respect. It has definitely been an experience. I'm glad that I've come to this point because when you first start, you're like, you know, I mean, I knew what to expect like, you know, like we said, you do your research, but then you actually do implementing it and doing it and getting used to the lifestyle, you know, learning how to sleep when the truck is moving. Nobody can really explain that to you until you are trying to sleep while, you know, somebody else is driving. And it's not about being scared that the driver is not safe, or that could be one reason. But for me, it was like, you know, the truck is moving, you're bouncing, you hear people, let's say you have to stop and fuel, you have to hook and unhook a trailer, you know, you're pulling the brakes. All of that is going on while you're trying to sleep. Because, you know, the business still has to go, so.
But what's funny is, like, lately, there have been times where we didn't wake up at all.
I know. Like, and you know you're tired. That's exhausting.
I was exhausted. Was it yesterday? I don't remember. It was recently. Yesterday morning. Okay. She went and parked, and usually I feel it just slowing down, coming off the ramps and stuff. I woke up, and we were parked, and she was nowhere to be found. And I'm like, where the heck are we? Did she go to the bathroom? Where? Then I realized her shoes were here, and I was like, okay, she's up top.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know how long we've been here. It looks like an Ohio Service Plaza. I think that's something you have to get used to, too. Like, she went to sleep in Ohio and woke up in Iowa.
That's right. Yeah, you do. And sometimes you go to sleep, and it's really cold outside. And then let's say you stop, you know, the truck stops somewhere and it's warmed up to like 50 degrees, you know. So you're constantly going through that too. You're going through the time zones. And, you know, you might be in one state where it's freezing, then you get to another state where it's maybe 50 degrees.
And I was thinking, you know, we've been in the cold. We've been in freezing temperatures since we left Vegas.
Yeah, 6 weeks.
6 weeks. We'll say 6 weeks, okay? So 6 weeks we've been in the cold. The truck decided the other day that it was going brrr, and it didn't want the cold anymore. And she wakes me up and says, the truck's doing something, the light's on.
Yeah, the check engine light is on, you know, and I'm like, oh, I'm pulling over. I'm pulling over to the emergency thing because I don't know what's wrong with the truck.
And it took me a little bit to figure it out. I think it's just as cold, and you have to turn the on switch on and hold it there for a little while longer than you normally do in the winter time. And this particular truck has a glow plug coil light that flashes that basically tells you, yeah, we're warming up and we're getting ready. So it's been fun. We wound up in 50-degree weather in Pennsylvania. Woohoo!
Yeah.
That was our first time in weeks, so it's all better now.
Yeah, and we were bobtailing, so we didn't have a trailer to worry about.
Which this was the longest that she bobtailed, so that was
Yes,
different.
yeah, that was different. Yeah, bobtailing. You know, I keep looking in my mirrors looking for my trailer. It's funny when you're bobtailing and okay, where's my trailer? You know, so.
Wait till you go home and drive your car again.
I know. So it has been a good experience for me overall, I believe, and I continue to look forward to all the other things I'm going to be learning. Every day is going to, regardless whether you're in training or not, I believe you're always going to learn something new or, you know, there's never a dull moment out in trucking, I believe.
No, but when you get off the truck, you'll still call me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Especially when I do my backing.
We'll be trip planning together. Oh, yeah. The backing. Okay. The other day, let's talk about the backing.
Let's do.
Okay. What happened the other day?
Well, a lot happened. I mean, it depends on what you're talking about.
I'm talking about, Kearsey, I need your help. And then I come up and I tell her, okay, just do this and hold it to that. And then she goes, well, that's not going to work. And she goes and does her own thing anyway. Well, why'd you wake me up?
Yeah, it was.
What did you tell me?
I said maybe I just needed some emotional support.
You know what? I'm going to buy you that rabbit, that robot cat. She wants a robot cat. That's why I'm going to go get her.
I was looking at some Amazon make-believe cats, you know, you like a cat or a dog that they say when you touch it feels like a real cat. I was actually looking at it for myself. I was looking at it for somebody else in my family. But then I'm like, oh, maybe I should get me one of these. Because if I go solo, I know I'm going to get me a pet, but I'm going to get me a real pet. I'm going to get me a doggy, a little dog.
I'm going to get you a little box that says Backing Kitty.
That's a good idea.
You know, you can put the cat out there and then use that as the cone to get into the space, and you won't run over the cat.
That's true. And that's another thing. I'm going to buy me a couple cones, because sometimes we get to a place where I have to back up and there are no lines. And believe it or not, that makes a big difference for myself, I know, and for other people too, because, you know, you used a line as a reference point, and if you don't see the lines, then you're kind of, it's kind of hard
like
to explain.
An optical illusion.
Yeah.
You think you're lined up in one position, and then when you get out and look, you're nowhere near where you're supposed to be.
Right. So I'm going to give me some cones and also some of those, I don't know what you call them, but a lot of times they sell them
The glow sticks.
The glow sticks, yeah. You know, it's not a big investment, because if I have to back up when it's dark outside, I can use those glow sticks as, you know, a reference point for me.
Flashlights can work, and also those laser beam pointer things to create a line so that it gives you some kind of reference point.
And when I back up into a trailer to hook up to a trailer, I always use my vest, my safety vest, because believe it or not, it has something to do with optical illusion. When I'm pulling forward, you know, and you have these rows of trailers, and you're like, okay, which am I hooking up to? So I just take my safety vest, I put it on, I hook it up to the trailer, like the air hose or something, the glad hands. So I know, okay, that's the trailer I'm going for, and it just makes it easier for me. That's just what I do. So little things like that. And when I've backed up before, I've taken that safety vest and threw it in the middle of the spot I have to back up to. Just another reference point. So
Yeah.
those little reference points.
But you've been backing up lately without me waking up.
Yeah. So you know, and what also helps is actually people. I've been watching some YouTube videos. They have the same struggles as me. I mean, like the exact same struggles. I'm like, oh look, they're having the same struggles. And believe it or not,
And she laughs at them.
I have to laugh at them. I'm like, that's me. That's me.
I sat there and I
That's
made
funny.
her watch a whole bunch of them, and we won't talk about
Who they were. or
who they
anything.
were. And it wasn't even just backing; it was turning and hitting stuff and falling off the scales
Yeah.
and stuff. But she said to me, "Oh, I feel so much better now because I didn't do any of that."
So it makes you feel better if somebody else, you know that somebody else is struggling the same way, meaning that you're not the lonesome ranger out there, so to speak. But anyways.
It's not someone.
Yeah.
It's everyone.
That's true.
That's your problem.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I don't want it to be me.
It's everyone.
But it does get better. And anybody out there looking at this YouTube video, and Kearsey has told me that from day one, but sometimes, things just don't. You don't want to believe things or something. The only way that you're going to learn how to back, if you have backing problems or issues with backing, is doing it. Doing it and doing it.
Did you hear what she just said?
Everybody else, you can take the tips people tell you, but you still have to do it.
Yeah, and what she just said was, I told her on day one,
She did.
but she didn't believe me, and I was a liar until she realized what it was like.
I would never call her a liar.
No,
No.
I just don't believe it.
So, we've had some good times, and
I think we've had a lot of fun.
I think we've had a lot of fun, and
That made it go faster, though. I think the attitude really makes the time go by, because if your attitude was different, I would have kicked you off the truck.
But every time we went to a terminal, I'm like, uh-oh, she's gonna kick me off the truck.
Why?
I don't know, maybe because I don't know.
No, but I mean, just when people are miserable, there are some people in this life, they just want everybody around them to be miserable.
Right.
They're miserable, so they want everybody else to be around them and be miserable. But that just drags it out. It's like emotional, mental torture.
So I'm glad she didn't do that.
All you people watching, okay, if you think you're coming on this truck, you got some really big shoes to fill.
There you
because
go.
She just ruined me for all other students. She's so good.
Oh, listen to her.
It's
Listen
true.
to her.
She is so good.
That's only because she was able to train me well. So,
But she listened and she learned.
yeah, I do listen. You do have to listen. You do have to know that this is the attitude I come on the truck with, okay? It doesn't, okay, obviously I'm older than Kearsey, but, you have to put all that out of your mind. I don't care, what I went on the truck with is she has 5 years of experience in an industry that I'm new to. She's going to know more than I know about trucking, so I'm going to take everything in that she tries to tell me. Who has more experience? Who has more knowledge to teach you? The trainer does. I want to thank Kearsey for putting up with me for so long, and hopefully it will be a long-term friendship. I'll be calling her, and
you could be out here for 20 years, 15 years, whatever. You're still going to learn every day.
yeah.
I mean, even the technology changes, the trucks change, all that. So you're constantly learning. The hours of service rules are always changing. No matter what, you're going to learn something new.
And each customer is different.
Yeah, but I want to thank Maureen.
Oh,
This has been so wonderful. All right, I think we just gave them all some kind of they all want to go puke.
I'll let
They're
them.
too sweet. But I want to say thank you guys so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, ring the notification bell, and we hope to see you out here. Trucking along.
Bye.
Bye.